Welcome in to follow Everton. It's your Premier League watch along with your buddy Domino Chris. I see Erling Haaland has wasted no time whatsoever getting on the score sheet. As I pull these games up, excuse me, we're about 4 minutes in. It is already 1-0 to Manchester City on an Erling Haaland penalty. I did not see the build-up, did not see the tackles, etc. But Haaland is on the score sheet. Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into the show. Wezzo, good to see you. Chris, good to see you. VIR shout for Leeds penalty. Let me get it pulled up. I'm behind. Reason number 184 why I'm single. I am physically incapable of being on time. You should know this by now if you've been watching. Let me get the Leeds one pulled up, though. Mr. Mabsy, good to see you, buddy. 6 minutes in, Bournemouth and Leeds still 0-0. That will be on the main screen, I think, and then we'll have the others in the background as well. Let's get this going here. How's everybody doing today? Good to see you. Hey, Ems. Hey, Leon. Good to see you, bud. If you do happen to see a goal, I asked very politely, please don't spoil. I'll probably put that in the I'll probably just put that on screen just because I'm not sure who's ahead and who isn't. All right. I believe that's the only goal so far. All right, let's get a ticker going. This will be constantly changing, but I might not do the goals as a matter of fact, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, let's see what we have here. It's a free kick on the edge of the box for Leeds. People were saying it is a good save. Great chance for Leeds. What's been going on in the first 6 minutes? The Leeds look up for it. Is it more Bournemouth, or what are we seeing in this Leeds game? Because quite frankly, we don't really care about the others. I mean, unless you have a bet on or it's fantasy or whatever the case. By the way, if you haven't seen, Kevin De Bruyne not in the Manchester City squad, just from a football perspective, that's an interesting note. Julian Alvarez gets the start instead. So curious to see what kind of formation Manchester City will be throwing out today. Played better without DCL in the team. That's an absolute abomination and a horrible take. But good morning anyway, Jay Russell. Good to see you, bud. Without DCL, we've been absolutely atrocious. And with DCL, we haven't been wonderful. We had a decent showing. People forget DCL did play against Arsenal, did have a couple of good chances, and the attack was completely changed with DCL in the lineup. I think that he is absolutely a requirement if we have any chance for the rest of the season. What's up, my man? Good to see you, the Blues. TJ, you need to get something for that cough there, buddy. It's dangerous. All right, let's get these other two pulled up. In all likelihood, I'm on a laggy laptop for the for a couple of these games, the Man United, the Villa, so I might be a little behind in those. Like I said, I don't really care that much, but it's still just a little bit annoying. Getting ready to invest in a new laptop. I'm not sure how it is overseas when you guys have your sales in America. Usually there's a Memorial Day sale for May or the end of May, so I'm waiting to get a really good laptop until then. So give it about 2 or 3 weeks, and then we'll be rocking and rolling, as they say here in the States. All right, getting Man United and Villa pulled up, Newcastle and Southampton as well. DCL is in the graveyard shift. There's no creativity in the midfield. Spot on. There's no creativity anywhere on the pitch at the minute, but especially not in the midfield. The midfield at least has the capability to maintain possession for a bit. I say that very loosely because they are also big fans of turning the ball over. But even when they maintain possession, there's no ideas, there's no creativity, there's nothing to offer. Long ball to DCL and hope for the best. It's a great chance for Bournemouth. I'm sorry, I get the wrong game. Bournemouth, for some reason, Manchester City's away their third kits kind of look like Bournemouth's kits, so I got confused. That is actually Manchester City. Bournemouth game is over here, though. This is a good chance for Bournemouth, though. Bournemouth are through, and now they have a handball shout. Nothing doing for the officials on this one, though. Seems like a back and forth game so far, though, for the first 10 minutes. And you kind of, again, it's no matter who plays Leeds, there will be a lot of pace because Leeds are incapable of defending at the minute. So that bodes well for our chances wanting Leeds to lose, but it doesn't really matter if we don't get another point for the rest of the season. Usually this is the point where I start to feel good about Everton's chances, no matter who they're playing. I get a little bit of optimism the day before. I feel nothing right now, and that's just kind of where I'm at. I don't feel good about tomorrow. I do not feel good about tomorrow. All right, 10 minutes in, 10 minutes into Newcastle, Southampton, no goals. Leeds have a great chance. Looks like it might have been cleared by their own defender. That's interesting. No score in United and Villa as well. So the only goal so far coming from Erling Haaland from a penalty. Let me get this. Yeah, Everton have sucked the hope out of the fans. Wezzo, that is about as accurate as it gets, buddy. Had an impression that the CBs were slightly more offensive than the midfield last game. I don't think so, really. But even if they were, that wouldn't be saying much. But I don't think anyone really had much. I mean, I especially didn't, unless I missed something. I don't think Keane and Tarkovsky had much to offer on the offensive end. Maybe I'm forgetting. I am old. I forget things. All right, let's get the ticker going. It's easy when there are no goals. When the goals start rolling in, then we'll have some difficulties. Anybody with some score predictions, always feel free to throw them in. If you have a bet on, I know we had someone in the chat yesterday just missed a bet on Forest yesterday. So if you have a bet on, feel free to let us know, just so we can sweat it with you. Julian Alvarez on the move here. Yeah, it's really. I mean, again, Fulham have not much to play for anyway, so it's not like this is going to be a devastating loss. All right. Ticker is, oh my God. I accidentally just closed out of the ticker rather than posting it. Now I have to do it all again. Great start to the morning, boys and girls. Well done. Well done, Chris. Well done. Well done. Killing it. Man United 0-0. Aston Villa. There we go. There we go. Ticker is alive, ladies and germs. Leeds look very threatening. Yeah, they really do. Keane had a McNeil run that failed miserably. Keane had a last month of football that failed miserably. Last 2 months, really. Somebody said something about what they would say to Sean Dyche or something. You know, Sean Dyche comes out with this nonsense about Yerry Mina and how he hasn't played football lately, and it's just absolute bullshit. I mean, Mason Holgate hasn't played football, a lot of football. Ben Godfrey hadn't played a lot of football. Michael Keane hadn't played a lot of football. They had no problem getting a game, but Yerry Mina doesn't play, and it's just simply ridiculous. I just there's no excuse, there's no reason if he's fully fit, and if he's not and he has bad attitude, whatever. I mean, it's just dumb. I mean, Yerry Mina, even at 0.5% at this point, 50% would be a better shout. And even if you only get one game out of him, it's better. And if you don't even think, Yerry Mina is a great center back, I have fun with Michael Keane if that's your guy. I don't know really what to say. Score predictions. My man Chris has Bournemouth 3, Leeds 2, Man City 4, Fulham 1, Newcastle 4-0 over Southampton, and 2-0 Man United over Villa. I actually agree exactly with 2 of these, and it's 4-1 Man City and 2-0 Man United. I think that Newcastle will only get 2 or 3 today. I don't know why. They should thrash Southampton. I just have a feeling Southampton are going to bring a little of a fight. Hope you're right, though, because I have a lot of Newcastle fantasy players. Bournemouth 3 Leeds 2 sounds good. I think that would be a great result for everybody, though. All right, the streams are absolutely lagging hardcore for me in terms of the Newcastle and Man United games. So I will mostly focus on Fulham, Man City, and Bournemouth and Leeds. And if you, and who knows, maybe this will get better. Maybe I can restart this computer. But again, it's just not that big of a deal. Tell Daesh I appreciate pragmatism and honesty, so please be honest. Yeah, no, I agree. And that's the thing. This is the problem. This is what I thought I was getting from Deitch when we got Sean Deitch. And this is what it seems like he was giving us at first. And we all know he was sidestepping questions about the board. You know, those are his employers. And I sort of understand that. You just don't want to upset people, right? Whether it's right or wrong. But you still want to be as honest as you can. That's 1-1. Fulham have a goal here. Wow. It's a quick chance. I saw it sort of. I don't know if it was a City blunder or if it just dropped to. Sorry, again, my eyes are horrible. I want to see who this is. I think it might be Pereira, but I'm not positive. We'll find out in a second. They'll show this replay. So it's Fulham's really first chance. And they do have a little bit of possession in the build-up. So it is mostly a Fulham goal. Oh, it's a great header. That's good stuff from Fulham. Absolutely just beats the Man City defense. And City are kind of good for this once or twice a game because City are an incredible team. But City also have the capability to just have this blunder and leave themselves open. It's Vinicius with a goal, by the way. And so both goals today have come from the Fulham-Manchester City game. It's 1-1. Happy Sunday, Eugene. It's really good to see you, buddy. Thanks for just stopping by. We appreciate it. City hadn't been playing them because the forwards weren't doing their job. It's just nonsense. It's so dumb. It's just so dumb. Ryan and I tried to dissect that argument yesterday, and none of it made sense whatsoever. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know how you can justify a complete lack of common sense. I just don't get it, but it is what it is. All right, let's get this goal sheet updated. It's a near chance, by the way, for Aston Villa. Let me restart this computer. This is annoying me. What might have to happen is I might just have to put one game on instead of two, which is frustrating, but it's better than nothing. So you tell me, quick vote, quick poll in the chat. I'll give you 2 minutes. Which game would you rather I watch right away? Newcastle, Southampton, or Man United, Aston Villa? Actually, I'll answer it for you because we still need Southampton to lose. So I'm putting Newcastle, Southampton on. Sorry, your vote doesn't matter, just like America. Oh, who said that? Terrible take, by the way. I apologize to people. Just trying to crack a joke. If I don't laugh, I'll cry. It's Vinicius on 15 minutes for Fulham. All right, let's try and get this ticker updated real quick. Give me 1 second, boys and girls. Vinicius on 15 minutes and Holland on 3. I think that looks good. Let's see. And if it doesn't, whatever. You know the score and you know how it is. So it is what it is. That's 1-0 to Bournemouth, ladies and gentlemen. That's a goal. I looked as the Bournemouth player was celebrating. I've seen nothing of the goal. I was busy updating the ticker. That's why the ticker shouldn't matter. I knew it. I knew I was onto something by not updating the ticker. Damn it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's 1-0 to Bournemouth. Happy days so far as an Evertonian. See, again, it's such a funny world, isn't it? 4 weeks ago, we're sitting here hoping Bournemouth lose every game. And now look at us. It's twists and turns. You never know. All right. Let's see how this one's gone in. It looks like a bunch of hanging heads for Leeds, so I'm not sure if that was just a blunder or how this one worked. It's a long ball up. It's headed down by, looks like Billing has this one, and he just takes, kind of moseys around the Leeds defense. Yeah, it's just a good, I mean, it's bad defending by Leeds. Nothing new there, but it's a class finish. I'm not sure if that was Billings or Solanke who had the initial strike there. Nonetheless, it's coming. It's curled in. Across his body, curled into the right corner. That's a great finish from Bournemouth, I must say. Absolutely great finish. Cherries were always my favorite fruit. At least until 2 hours from now. That's for sure. All right. The goals are coming, which tend to happen when you have 4 games going on. It is Lerma's goal for Bournemouth. So let's get it on the board. It's Bournemouth 1, Leeds United 0. I ended up not having a full English today, by the way. Some people were asking me about that yesterday, and I thought I was going to go get the fixings for it. And quite frankly, I was just so tired yesterday that I didn't do it. But and even if I would have gotten them, I might have been too tired to cook it. I hate cooking. I'm so lazy when it comes to cooking. I've spent stupid amounts of money on takeaways. It's not a good character trait, but it is what it is. Absolute class finish from Bournemouth there. Phil Billing is about 70 foot tall. Yeah, you're not kidding. James, don't yell at me. All right. He's up there, compadre. Anthony Gordon gets the start for Newcastle apparently today, and there he is looking like an idiot. I will say it, by the way, Tim Ream coming off with what looks like a serious arm injury, one of Fulham's mainstays at defense and a great mainstay for the United States men's national team. So it's kind of sad to see, especially given that the game is 1-1. But nonetheless, I'm kind of sick of the I get Everton fans are just looking for a reason to laugh at this point. So if it's just taking the piss and laughing and trying to enjoy your day, okay, whatever. But everybody just basically lives on, slating Anthony Gordon at this point. I just don't care. Like, just go away. Leave us alone. I just don't want to be bothered with it. I'm angry at enough things. I don't need to care about Anthony Gordon, which I don't. I just think it's crazy that so many people still do. We've got enough to worry about on our own end. Great. Liu, Fulham with a decent chance. I think it was a little bit of a miscommunication, but it's a good idea. And here come Man City with numbers. It's a long ball. Holland might be past the defense. Almost. That's 2-0 to Bournemouth. Get in there, you cherries. It's Lerma again. It's his second of the match. It's 2 goals for Jefferson Lerma. And Bournemouth have a 2-0 lead at the Vitality. Trouble for Leeds. Absolute trouble for Leeds. 2-0. Two goals in 4 minutes for the Bournemouth. This one comes on a corner. That's a horrible. It's Mellier's. Oh, what a finish! What a class finish by Lerma there. It's horrible from Meslier. He gives it. I don't know how to describe what he's done here. It's a corner that comes in. He kind of gives it a little bit of a swat, and it just falls right to Lerma, who makes no mistake from about 10 yards out. It's hit off the half volley, and quite frankly, it's a class finish right under the bar, and it is 2-0 to Bournemouth. Get in, you cherries. I thought he would play 4-5-1 when Dom returned. I want to see him try a 4-4-2 with Calvert-Lewin and Sims. I've been on the fence about that, and now I'm no longer on the fence. I'm fully on board with just trying literally anything new. Anything that could possibly create an idea, just try it. I don't care anymore. Do something. Something. Miles behind just going in here. The Bournemouth game, I'm assuming you mean. Yeah, this my new I took it down to one game on the stream with Newcastle Southampton. Even that's not working. So I'm gonna restart this. Give me 1 second. I still got the two main ones on here, but this computer's just old, quite frankly. I could try, I think what was it, 2 weeks ago, I tried to put every game on this main one because my main computer works great. It's the laptop that's having a little bit of trouble. But if I just do it on the main one, it does sometimes slow down the others. So whatever. It's something new. We're trying it. More about the fun of the interaction anyway. Quite frankly, we could just do this with the goal scores and all that coming up and doing the interaction, but it is more fun to watch along. So it is 2-0 to Bournemouth, though, and that's the result that we want to see. And I must reiterate, as fun as it is having the results go our way, it means nothing if we don't show up tomorrow. Because if we get battered 4-0 tomorrow, none of this matters. And I don't mean to bring the party down by any means, but I'm worried. I'm very worried about tomorrow. I think it might get ugly early. Hope I'm wrong. Wazzo, get in there. Holland is in. Penalty shouts again. Almost goes in anyway. Tell you what, it would be interesting if Fulham could somehow keep in this game. While the race is pretty much over, it's not 100% over. You never know what can happen. No one expected Arsenal to have a couple of the draws that they've had, and City are on flying form. So City will get a result from this game in all likelihood, but it would be fun if they didn't, just for entertainment purposes, I think. We go 4-4-2 with Sims. I think we need DCL to drop back out of possession. I don't think that would be an issue, though, more than McNeil crossing. But that's the thing. Like, we would have more than McNeil crossing. I think that would create a little bit more space in the midfield. And I think that would actually let Idrissa Gana Gueye do a little bit more. Now, the issue is my vote goes to drop Iwobi, right? You're going to play McNeil. And the question is, do you play? Here come Manchester City, by the way. And it's off the bar. Wow, Jack Grealish off the bar. I thought it was a great finish. I thought it was going in as he started to almost celebrate, but it's off the bar anyway. And not nearly put in, but 1-1 still. I want to find a way to get James Garner on the pitch. I just don't know how it's going to happen, because if you play a 4-4-2, let's just say you keep a 4-5-1. How do you get James Garner on the pitch? You're going to have to drop Onana, Doucouré, or Gana Gueye. Now, I'm okay with dropping Doucouré at this point. I think it's not been great without him, don't get me wrong, but I think the risk reward now with James Garner being on the pitch is a little bit better. If Onana's not fully fit, I'm okay with that too. I think Gana Gueye's been a little bit better than the other two. Not that he's been wonderful by any means. I vote for dropping Iwobi over anything. The problem with that is James Garner probably needs to be in the central midfield, so that would make that a little bit difficult. McNeil has to stay on the left because he's just a workhorse, and even though he's not been a world beater, he has been probably our best player in the last 2 months. It's not great. It's just kind of grasping straws, but we have to try something, and I like what James Garner brings to the table. I do. I think his mindset, he's not your speed demon, but the mindset and the wherewithal with the ball, the actual creativity with possession that he might bring, and having a plan to do something is more than so many others. There's just no creativity with possession at all. It's just put it up there and hope. We need a little bit more. Goes without saying. Terribly imbalanced squad. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. That goes without saying. That is an absolute, and I mean, Deitch even said that the other day. Yeah, and that's the thing. Piggybacking on this comment, the Blues, who stop McNeil, you stop Everton. But not only that, if you stop McNeil on the left side, you stop Everton. Everyone on planet Earth knows that McNeil is going to his left. He is incapable of having a right foot. And I think that's wild to me as a professional football. I was a right-footed shot, right? I had no left foot growing up. And a lot of people knew that, but I was a kid, right? Dwight McNeil is a professional footballer. You'd think that he could offer something on his right foot, something at all. And it's just nothing. He always goes to his left. Everyone knows it. And so teams have learned that. They learned it fairly quickly, I might add. but the crosses were somehow still getting in because he at least had a little bit of quickness and thought of like, if they think I'm taking a dribble, it's just booted into the middle. Now it's just absolute cover the left side by all means necessary. So once you shut that down, we almost have nothing. That's so sad. So sad. All right, let's try and get these games back on. If you see a goal, well, no, I better not say that. I'll still keep an eye on the scores. Garner looks to play the ball forward. Exactly. He has an idea and a plan, or at least some wherewithal. Like I said, I don't know. No, that's a great. If we continue to play, Wezo says we continue to play Godfrey right back and Keane at center half. It's just done. We're going to get done against Leicester because our defense will be open without question. I'll be interested to see what formation Leicester comes out with and what players they come out. Their team selection will be interesting given that they have tried to manage Jamie Vardy's minutes. We know Iheanacho is going to be out. We expect Daka and Harvey Barnes to play. We'll see. It'll just be interesting. They have nothing. I mean, Leicester have to go for it. They're in no other competitions. They will be absolute full squad forward. It's just a matter of who's fully fit. So, I mean, I guess contradicting what I just said, I expect Vardy to start. I'm just saying they have been trying to manage minutes all season. So, but I don't think they have much of a choice at this point. We really, depending on what Forest and Leeds do, I don't think we need. Oh, Harvey Barnes will. If we didn't think Godfrey was ruined after last game, Harvey Barnes will make sure. But again, surely. Oh, Leeds have one back. It's 2-1. It looks like it was Jack Harrison with the goal. It's bad. It's bad midfield play from Bournemouth. Leads with an interception, a little bit of possession, goes down the left side. It's crossed into the middle, and it's just tucked in. It looks like it might be Bamford. Looks like Wilfred Nyanto was the one that puts it in, and Bamford's just unmarked. That's atrocious defending from Bournemouth. That's absolutely shambolic defending. Bamford, two players unmarked, almost unmarked in the middle. One of Bournemouth players is Bournemouth's defender is a little bit ahead of it, tries to get ahead on it and just doesn't. And Bamford just all by himself tucks it in, basically an empty netter, and it's 2-1. I say basically an empty netter. I know a lot of Everton forwards who would have missed that, so it is what it is. Get the ticker updated. It is 2-1. The last thing we want at all is Leeds getting a little bit of confidence, but we are where we are. So let's see what we have here. Looks like Leeds have an injury, though. I don't know. I thought I saw Bamford, who just scored the goal, though. So I don't know if no, it's not Bamford. I take that back. Manchester City controlling much of this possession in that game. Still no score on the others. United, Villa, and then Newcastle and Southampton. It looks like Cooper is going off for Leeds with an injury. Didn't see what happened there. But Wober will be coming on in the 39th minute. So the last thing Leeds United need are another injury. Yeah, we'll keep you updated on that. It's Bamford in the 32nd minute, by the way. As Leeds get one back, I expect plenty more goals in this. Hey, Chris might be on with some of these predictions. He had Bournemouth 3 and Leeds United 2 on a pretty decent pace for that. It's not I don't know why I saw the 39th minutes, but we're in the 34th minute of that. My mistake, guys. I'm not that far ahead in the future. I would tell you to put a bet on. Absolutely. Madison and Tielemans will run the show tomorrow. See, here's the thing. You've already stated the issue, right? We can name plenty players on Leicester City who will score a goal, and you can't name anyone on Everton that can even create an attacking chance. And that's the scary part. Our defense will be wide open. It's not a matter of if. It will happen. It's a scary thought. I'm telling you, I think it's going to get ugly quick. And for all, Madison hasn't even played well lately. So tomorrow will certainly be the day that he revitalizes that. The Blue. I missed your comment. The Blues. Yeah, you're up there, mate. It's the same thing. Take your pick. I was just saying the same thing. Take the overs. Yeah, no kidding. Especially today and yesterday. That Palace game early went crazy. And the Brighton 6-0. That was wild. Grealish has the ball. It's right to Leno, though. Man City, as I said, controlling much of the possession, but can't seem to find a finish just yet. If Leicester beat Everton, it is. I mean, yeah, it has to be. We don't score first. I think we lose 3-0. Could be 4-0. I won't put a bet in just because I can't stomach actually betting against Everton, but that's why I don't really bet much. All right, let's try to get these other ones back up. Newcastle has to score. I don't think that really matters. I think Southampton are done. Like if Southampton were to accrue the required points for safety, then we weren't ever going to stay up anyway. Because you got to remember, Southampton will be going to Nottingham Forest, and so if they were to somehow get a win out of that, then that means that sort of is a good. Like, funnily enough, in our situation, we actually are probably pulling for Southampton to beat Forest next week. As silly as that sounds, we can't have Forest picking up points. It is what it is. I don't even know if a draw is best in that game. We can't have Forest picking up 1 point. We need Southampton in that game. What a wild time to be alive, boys and girls. Vinagre is non-existent. Injured and out for the season, sure, but he was non-existent anyway. Leeds have another chance from the outside of the box. Blocked. Not much doing there, but Leeds are controlling a lot of this possession. I'm a bit worried. You know that Leeds do have players who can score goals. I believe they've conceded the most in the Prem. I'd have to look that up again, but their defense is awful. But they have shown the ability not only to really they picked up one away win recently, right? And I know that's not much, but the fact that when they went into the Molineux and scored 4 goals means that they can at least do it, whereas teams around them that we've seen are incapable of doing that. Forest can't win on the road. We saw that against Brentford yesterday. They couldn't close it out. We know Everton can't win away. Hope I'm wrong. Hope that changes tomorrow, but we haven't seen it. So Leeds have shown that they can and shown that they can score goals. So I wouldn't be surprised if they equalized even before halftime. Hopefully not. Might be worth keeping Branthwaite. I would love to keep Branthwaite, but it all depends. If we go down to the championship, we will have a fire sale literally just to control the finances. Here comes Manchester City, by the way. Looks like it's Julian Alvarez with a strike. Absolutely amazing. Wow. Oh, my God. What a finish. Fantastic from Julian Alvarez. Fantastic finish. It's 2-1 to Man City. Wait until you see this goal, boys and girls. Wow. It's dispossessed by Man City coming up the midfield. I'm not sure who gives him the initial pass. It looks like it might be Jack Grealish, but Alvarez takes a couple of touch and then from about 25 yards out, just absolutely curls it across into the opposite top corner. Just a brilliant strike from the Argentinian World Cup winner. Fantastic finish. He beats Leno. It's 2-1. Yeah, we get excited with a point for us. It's going to be interesting because I don't think a draw is the end of the world. Let me be very clear. I don't want to play for a draw. If the game's there for the taking, we need to be playing for the win. If for some reason this game finds a way to end 0-0, 1-1, whatever, I don't think the season's over. I think it's insanely difficult, but I don't think it's over just yet because we still have things to play for. Leicester aren't going to be way ahead of us because they won't have gotten 3 points. I don't want a draw. I want to win. But I think we still have the tiniest shred of hope if we pull a draw out of this. Given if both of these results go our way. Now, if Leeds finds a way to beat Bournemouth, all bets are off. We have to win, period. But we'll see. We really need to win. We really, really, really need to win. Back to Braithwaite. Braithwaite's our player. I think we'll see a fire sale because we're just going to have to appease these financial restrictions. We're in such a bad shape financially as a club, and it's just awful. I don't know how else to describe it. Don't even think that selling, like, we're not going to be able. Ryan spoke a lot about this. We're not going to be able to sign these players. We're not going to be able to sign any. We definitely can't sign Premier League quality players. We can't really sign championship quality players. We don't have the capability. We don't have the financial stability right now. So we're going to have to get players coming into playing, basically coming in on a free, possibly playing on lower wages. Who's going to do that? Jeff wants young, up and coming, hungry players. And while that sounds great on paper, you want players who are going to have ambition, play for the badge, want to see this thing through. It's just not exactly going to be win now mentality. Now, basically, the Everton accounts have come out and said, we don't know if we can make it 1 year in the champion or more than 1 year in the championship. We don't see a way out of that afterwards. It's scary. Because if we go down, I don't think we'll be there forever. Man United, by the way, 1-0. They have taken a 1-0 lead over Aston Villa. I'll find that score, who scored in a second. I mean, I don't think we'll be down there forever by any means, but I don't think we come back up either. I don't know. I just don't know, boys and girls. Nobody, and to be fair, no one knows. You can make assumptions. It's Bruno Fernandes with a goal for Manchester United on 39 minutes. It's 1-0 to United. Get these goals updated. Thank you for your patience, everybody. I'm doing this by myself, obviously, so it will take I hate when there's dead air and dead silence on here, but it has to be right now because I have to update the stuff. All right. And there we go. Ticker is back. Holland will pay those points back. Yeah, right. Whoever's talking about fantasy, I took a minus 16 this week and went absolutely all in for the rest of the season. So who's in my fantasy squad? So I played my bench boost this week because, well, I had to. Basically, hang on. Sorry, we got a chance here. Man City. Still with possession here. All right. Fantasy squad this week. Hang on, I've just gotten some more points for some reason. I don't know who's done what. Nick Pope in goal. Trent, Alexander-Arnold, Kieran Trippier. At the risk, by the way, of having Liverpool players. Yes, I have a couple in fantasy. By the way, Gundogan almost with 3-1, or almost with a third goal for Man City. Estupinian, Grealish, Matoma, Salah, Rashford, Isak, Holland, Alvarez. That's right. I played Julian Alvarez. Get in. I'm a genius. Jason Steele, Andreas Pereira, Luke Shaw, and Diego Dalot. And I say all of that because with the bench boost, I'm playing every single player. And I'm in 3 leagues, one of them fairly big, and I'm in top 3. I'm top the table in one and top 3 in the others. And so the bench boost will basically probably put me top the table. It just matters what we do for the rest of the season. So, but I had to take a minus 16 to get that. I wanted to bench boost with all of these double game weeks. So it's interesting. Southampton winning 1-0. Wow. Southampton have scored. Let's see who it is. It's Stuart Armstrong in the 41st minute. Didn't see that one coming. Southampton have shown this lately. They went to Arsenal and scored 3 goals. You just never know. All right, let's get this thing updated. 41st minute for Armstrong for Southampton. It's 1-0. Let me try and get the other one up here real quick. I keep saying I'm trying. I'm having computer issue or laptop issues on the other side. Computer's fine, but Newcastle haven't kept a clean sheet in a while. Yeah, I really thought today would be that day, though, to be fair. No, Newcastle are still going to win this game. Come on. Nonetheless, not what we wanted to see because, again, we're probably going to need Southampton next week. Now, if Southampton find a way to win this game, now all of a sudden we're pulling for a draw. Again, changes by the minute. Crazy. Penalty shout here. Southampton looks like it took a bit of a dive. Always looking for the contact. Drives me insane. So I've got that game up. It's a bit laggy, but it is what it is. I don't. Southampton are still not a good team. They just scored a goal. Here comes Man City, though. Grealish, kind of an optimistic cross there. Probably should have taken this up. We've got 4 minutes of added time in the Bournemouth and the Leeds game. I've got 44 minutes on the clock in Fulham and Man City. Southampton with 3 shots on target to Newcastle's naught. Not exactly. Oh, a little bit of a stumble in the box. Nothing doing there, though, for Newcastle. So, well, I better not say that. I don't want to jinx anything. Almost said something. Southampton were up 3-1 to Arsenal. Should have won the game. That's the thing. Like, Southampton, all they've showed is that they're more likely to blow these leads than anything, because not closing that game out at the Emirates was just, I mean, we've seen Arsenal do that to a couple of teams because Bournemouth were victims to that as well, but that's out of play. Man City are very, very sloppy right now. And Fulham certainly getting physical with Haaland. It'll be interesting to see how he responds. You know, we saw the Haaland tantrum against Ben Godfrey earlier this season. We shall see. Besides Deitch, what managers did Everton interview? Well, it depends on what you read. From what we understand, they interviewed Duncan Ferguson and Marcelo Bielsa. Bielsa, the rumor and innuendo was that Bielsa was too expensive with his staff, and quite frankly, I don't disagree with that, and I don't know if we would have been capable of playing the style of football that Bielsa wanted to play anyway. I don't even necessarily think that Deitch wasn't, quote unquote, the best out of the bunch that we have to choose from. The issue is he's making nonsensical common sense errors, right? And that's hard to get past. When you're doing the complicated things wrong, or at least taking gambles, and the gambles don't work out, okay, I can get past that. When you're playing and when you're playing players now, they're not unproven. They're very proven. These players are proven to be very poor footballers, and you're continuing to play them and watching it get worse. Literally, we're watching it get worse and worse and worse every single week. And when you're doing that and not doing anything about it, and continuing to not make the subs that you need to make in a timely fashion, because we've seen this happen again multiple times, when not putting a striker on when he should have. I can go down the list. When you're doing those things that are basic wrong, we have a problem. We have a lot of problems, but that's a big one. Our players are bad enough. We don't need the manager being bad also. That was supposed to kind of save it. Have someone to sort of tie the crap all together to at least create a little bit of something. Now we can't even do that. Ryan's favorite expression is you can't polish a turd. You can't polish, yada, yada. But these players aren't the worst in the world. Sean Deitch has shown he's capable of getting something out of them, especially early. I don't know where that went. I don't know if he's lost the room. I don't know what happened. It's gotten worse and worse. And a lot of Deitch has to take some of the blame because of some of the decisions that he's made. It has to. Didn't they interview Ancelotti's son? I think that was just a rumor. I don't think that ever was going to happen. That would have been a joke. And Duncan would have. I love Duncan Ferguson. Absolutely love Duncan Ferguson. One of my favorite players of all time. It would have been a bad appointment. I actually thought last season Duncan would have been decent, because I thought we had enough quality in the team to where basically Dunk could have just rallied the troops, if you like. The players respected Dunk. The players would have listened to Dunk. They would have played for Dunk. And the players were capable last season of putting points on the board. That's the difference. We don't have the players this season. We don't have the quality. Who is going to step up? Who's going to score? Who's going to create? Who's going to attack? Who is going to have any idea whatsoever how to put passes together and actually get the ball in the box and have a decent shot, rather than a completely overhead cross from Alex Iwobi, rather than left side Dwight McNeil crossover, DCL can't get ahead on it, rather than a defender long ball to try to get to DCL, rather than Pickford's horrible distribution? Who is going to step up? That's the difference between last season and this season. Duncan would not have worked this season because it would have been just Lampard 2.0, and probably a worse Lampard, if you like, because Duncan wouldn't have had the tactical awareness to do anything. So love him. That wouldn't have helped at all. Let's be very clear. Duncan Ferguson did not relegate Forest Green. Forest Green relegated Forest Green. And if you think that's hypocritical by what I've just said about Sean Dyche and all that sort of thing, Sean Dyche will not have relegated Everton. Everton will have relegated Everton. Let me be as clear as possible. Sean Dyche is not the problem, but he's proving to be part of it now. And that's the most worrying part. If if Seamus Coleman doesn't play on Monday and Nathan Patterson does not start at right back, I might actually lose my mind. Yeah, a couple of comments about Bielsa ball. Exactly. It just wouldn't have worked. I wish we had the capability to play a lot of styles of football. Quite frankly, this people might not like this. Lampard at least had somewhat of an initial idea on how the players wanted to play football, right? I wish we had the players that were capable of that. The issue with Lampard is once his initial once his initial just thoughts didn't work, it was over. There was no changing at all. It was just down with the ship. Still hoping for the best. This guy's got Everton more points than Lampard have. Yeah, I mean, you're not necessarily wrong in all likelihood. Lampard stayed too long. Holland to the center, by the way. City with some good possession here. This is a watch along after the fact. I should be watching some of these matches, but you got me on an Everton rant now. I think with Lampard, we would already be pretty much down. But I don't know how long that. There's no way they would have let Lampard stay the rest of the season. Had he not gotten sacked after West Ham, it would have been. I mean, the next match was Arsenal, if I have it right, I believe, and that's the one that we won. So it would have happened anyway. It's happened at the. I still can't believe we didn't sign a player in this fucking transfer window. And I know I'm swearing too early, but I remember being in Liverpool on deadline day, and I remember just being in just utter disbelief. I just, what do you say? That was the day a lot of people accepted it, but we still had a little bit of hope. There's still games to play. You hope that the players that we had would step up. We still had hope Dom would come back. But, I mean, just how do you fail that miserably? It's almost impossible. It really is almost impossible. The worst teams in the league were signing the players that we wanted. It's so miserable. Is Dyche the best for the future? It's certainly it's a point of view thing. Some people think if we go down to the championship, Dyche is the best for that because he's been there before. He's shown the ability to get a team up. If Dyche continues to do now, if Dyche continues to do what he's doing now? No, Dyche is horrible at certain things. Dyche is good at certain things, but he's not showing what he did earlier. He's not showing that. It's just again, it's your point of view, right? Championship football is a lot more physical. With this current squad, we have no shot in the championship. We don't have a physical bone in most of these players' body. Ironically, Dyche's former player is one of the only ones that does. James Tarkowski. He's one of the only ones that's going to get physical and actually put a boot in somebody and have the wherewithal to do so. Dwight McNeil, no shot. He's just gonna fall and have nothing to. We saw that happen against Leeds. I know it was him that got shoved into the boards, and Decore tried to step up. Decore at least has a little bit of physical, but he's got physicality in a stupid way. Decore is going to. We've shown that against Tottenham. He doesn't know how to channel that in the right direction, right? Amadou Onana is going to be gone. So if you think he's going to try to play physical, he's not even going to be on our squad next year if we get relegated. Calvert-Lewin will be gone. Pickford will be gone. Iwobi will be gone. Mina will be gone. We don't even know what this squad's going to look like. If we put together a squad that can prove that they're up for it in terms of stepping up and actually being physical, putting your chest out, not being bullied, we'll have a shot. But with this current squad, we have no chance whatsoever. And I don't know what players we're going to sign because we have no money. Yeah, Lampard doesn't get all of the blame at Chelsea by any means. And Lampard's not a good manager. I want to have that right. He absolutely isn't. I don't know what Chelsea were thinking. I don't know what Todd Bowley's thinking. I don't know what he's been thinking all season, especially with the sacking of Tuchel. The most likely scenario is that he signed a bunch of players Tuchel didn't want, and when Tuchel said something about it, Bowley said, "Okay, if you don't like it, goodbye." That was that. Really didn't even give him that choice because Tuchel was apparently blindsided by this. And Tuchel's got a great job now, so it's we knew he wasn't going to be out of work very long. But I mean, I don't know. Even with even with the gelling of players, you had to think Graham Potter was going to do a little bit of a better job. If I was Everton, I don't think we can. I was going to say if I was Everton, I'd throw everything at Graham Potter and try to get him. But at this point, you can't not. I don't know what's in Deitch's contract in terms of relegation. If do we have an out if we get relegated to let Sean Dyche go without having to pay him? I highly doubt that because I know he gets a massive bonus if we stay up. If we get relegated, though, that changes the entire argument. And I say that because we're still paying, to my knowledge, Rafa Benitez. We're still paying Frank Lampard, unless there was a clause that if Lampard signs for another team, we don't have to pay him anymore. Don't know. But let's say we are. We're still paying Rafa Benitez. We're still paying Frank Lampard. We don't have any money. We're still getting audited every time we go out to eat. So we can't afford to be paying 3 managers who are no longer managing Everton Football Club and then a 4th on top when one comes in. It's just not possible. Yeah, exactly. Not just the physicality. Playing 2 games a week, unpredictability, absolutely. Our players, this current squad has no chance in the championship. Mid-table at best, relegation at worst. They're not a good team. They're not good. They're not good at football. We're not good at beating teams that aren't even there. We're not good at beating horrible teams. Some of these teams in the championship we've already played. We've shown that we can't beat a second-tier side in the FA Cup. We've shown that we crumble against just another team on the pitch. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be fun to watch. We'll still be here. I'll still be here talking nonsense. Ryan says he'll be here, and then he says he doesn't know. I think it just depends on the day. But Ryan will be here. Our Follow Everton team will be here. It's frustrating to think about, though, especially having, I don't have to say how long all of us have been on board with Everton Football Club. So to say it would be depressing would be a massive understatement. Worrisome. Yeah, and that's the thing. Potter likes full control over everything he had. He only had control over picking the team. He wouldn't have control at us either. There's too much interference. 100%. So you're spot on there. I would at least want him for his ability to get players and his ability to, let me say that again. I would want him for his ability to have players want to come play for him, right? And it must be said, despite what happened at Chelsea this season, he was very good at Brighton, and we're proving that maybe Brighton's just the golden touch, if you like. Not that De Zerbi's a bad manager by any means, but all Brighton are doing are continuing to get better after they sell their players and after their manager leaves them mid-season. What Brighton are doing is something special. Seemingly the only difference between Brighton and Leicester is that Leicester actually won the league, and I don't think we're going to ever see a repeat of 2016. I would love to have other teams, smaller teams, whatever, put it all together and have a shot at that. But I really do think that that's just a fluke that won't be repeated. But might as well stick with Dyche for continuity. Well, by that logic, mate, we should have stuck with Lampard. Where does it end? Because I'm not one of those that's, managers perform poorly for a month, sack him. I don't want to keep sacking managers. That was actually my defense, not defense, but my devil's advocate argument after keeping Lampard after Bournemouth. I wasn't fully on board with sack him after Bournemouth only because I'm saying the same thing I'm saying now. We can't keep sacking a manager. That's one of the only things you'll ever hear me agree with Farhad Mashiri on, because when he came out and said we can't just keep sacking managers, he has our full support, whatever. I was sort of okay with that in the sense that that's what he needs to hear. Let's at least try to get behind him. Let's at least try because it might be best for us. Yes, that was the wrong take. All I'm saying is I didn't want to keep sacking a manager every 6 to 8 months. It's just you have to stick with somebody. Now is kind of the same argument. And so where does it end? Do we just keep hiring and sacking and hemorrhaging money and losing money and hiring and sacking? It's just, where does it end? Lampard's shown at Chelsea is lousy, though. I mean, you could say that about Dyche. Dyche got Burnley relegated. Dyche got Burnley back up. Yes, he got him into Europe as well, but he was going to get him relegated last season. I could make arguments both ways for Sean Dyche as well. Yes, Lampard's awful. Should have never come to that. And I think Vitor Pereira would have gotten us relegated last season too. So I don't even think Lampard was the wrong decision from those 2 last season. That doesn't mean he was the future. Neither is Sean Dyche. So what's it going to be? It's such a catastrophic failure from top to bottom, and a you know and a catch 22, and which comes first, who goes first, who needs to come in. You know, why would a player want to come play for us right now? And with that, bad players are going to make most managers look bad as well. I mean, it has to be not only a ridiculously good manager, but a manager that's going to be good, patient, and have the time given to him. But you have to show something to me. You have to show that you're willing to manage. Lampard couldn't do that because he wouldn't make changes. Deitch is now proving that he won't do that either. He's not managing his team. He left Ben Godfrey out there to get torched. Godfrey, as a human being, should feel insulted because of that. Whether he's a good footballer or not is up to you. Deitch is doing a poor job of managing his players. Forget the fact that his players aren't world beaters. They're not top half of the table finishers, even close, right? They're relegation form players, arguably championship quality players. Even then, you still have to know how to manage a team. And he's proving right now that he doesn't. Yeah, no, the Blues, you're right. Eddie Howe got Bournemouth relegated. You're absolutely right. We can go both ways with that. Just because you get a team relegated doesn't, or get a team relegated. Just because you are relegated with a team, I should say, because it's not ever all of the manager's fault. That doesn't mean you're a bad manager. Necessarily. It could mean you're a bad manager. Just doesn't always. It's not a blanket statement. I'm actually curious if we could have gotten Eddie Howe. Mark Burton in the comments says that we could have. I don't know if that was ever going to happen. I will say this. For all the people who wanted Wayne Rooney, that was going to be an absolute disaster. Opinion, all my opinion. Some people can think differently, and that's fine, but no. Yeah, Carlo Ancelotti got out. I think he saw what was coming. I don't think, while I do like Ancelotti still, I hold no hard feelings. I don't think his statement was true of the only team I would have left for was Madrid. I think if any other team came calling, or any relevant team came calling, Ancelotti was out the door. Didn't Klopp get relegated in Germany? I don't know. Want to say yes, but I don't want to speculate. Potter would be an excellent coach for Everton in the championship. Graham Potter will not coach in the championship. Whether that's right or wrong, I think that's a decent shout. I just don't think Graham Potter is still, despite what happened at Chelsea, I think Graham Potter is still viewed as a top manager by a lot of clubs. And I forget how many managers were sacked this season, 13, 14, whatever it was. You're going to have a couple of more probably. If Forest get relegated, Steve Cooper will probably go too, only because, and maybe that's not even fair because of what he did with Forest in the championship. Maybe he'll stick on. It's a matter. I think he might leave by his own merits. And the point I'm making is there will be managerial positions open up. Will Dean Smith stay on at Leicester? Don't know. Will I don't even know. I forget the manager at Southampton now. I think they're on their third manager though. Will he stay? Probably not. So there will be other managerial positions open up. Whether Graham Potter's going to take one of those, don't know. He might even wait till next season because with the 13, 14, whatever managers it was that got sacked mid-season, I mean, there will be openings next season fairly quickly, it seems like. So, but that's all speculation. We don't know what's going to happen just yet. Eddie Howe wanted the job. Yeah, I mean, speculation. I hope, I want to be with you. I just don't know if that's completely true. But what is true is Mashiri wanted Benitez, and again, that's not confirmed either. So maybe I'm contradicting myself. But every indication. Say what you will about Chairman Bill, even as dumb and as misguided and as narcissistic and egotistical as he is, and a bunch of other words I could say, there is no way he wanted Rafa Benitez managing Everton Football Club. No Steve Bruce. Dean Smith only till the end of the season anyway. Yeah, but I think if he keeps him up, it's going to change, Wezzo. Dean Smith has not done the worst job in the world. I mean, Dean Smith, especially against Everton. The last thing, that's another thing I'm worried about. Look at Dean Smith managed teams that Everton have played lately. Haven't beaten Villa in a long time when Dean Smith was there. Even Dean Smith at Norwich last season beat us 2-0, if I remember correctly. Or 2-1, where Richarlison had that worldie. But that was at Norwich. And then Smith was gone a short time later, and then that was Benitez's last game as well. Dean Smith has a knack for beating Everton. Makes me more worried about tomorrow. Bill wanted his mate Moyes back. Yeah. I'm curious who I think more people wanted Moyes as well. And I think that more people now, given the alternatives, would have Moyes back. At the time, they weren't saying that because, well, we've seen this movie plenty of times, right? Moyes isn't exactly going to, I mean, sorry, I didn't want to go down this route. I'm basically going to say Moyes wasn't exactly going to get us in the Champions League by any means, but at this point, it just doesn't matter. I think Moyes might have been decent, but at the same time, we've seen Moyes has been such a roller coaster at West Ham. And so you wonder if Moyes would have even been able to gather that room. Don't know. Maybe his experience would have been enough to have players respect him. I don't know, though. I don't know if this current squad of players, honestly, I don't know if this current squad of players would respect anybody, if I'm really being honest with you. Like, I feel like Seamus Coleman is almost managing this team in terms of what he's saying and actually in terms of rallying the troops. I think it's all him. I mean, Deitch even said the other day, he walks into the dressing room and the players are talking to each other. And so he has a quick say and then leaves. It almost gives you the feel that the players are managing this team in terms of what they're saying to each other. And that's more scary. It just, I don't know. Games are kicked back off, by the way. Sorry, I've been ranting. We're into the 48th minute in Bournemouth and Leeds, still 2-1. Southampton have started back up again, but my stream is absolutely poor. Man City and Fulham just out of the dressing room, unless I am behind. Let me try and get caught up here. But that one is not yet kicked off for the second half. I don't believe any halftime changes at Manchester City, or at Fulham, I should say, in that game. It should be, I would think that if Man City go up 3-1, there probably will be, because they have to manage minutes. Man City have a lot of games coming up. Some incredible players there. Really. Some good players. I don't know about incredible. But that's more me being devil's advocate, though. They are massively underachieving in the Prem. I'll give you that, mate. I will absolutely give you that. But they're seemingly, I won't say finding their form after they took a loss yesterday, because they did find it for a little bit. They had a couple of good weeks in Europe and in the Prem. You could say that they got kind of robbed against Liverpool, and honestly, you could say it yesterday too, because when Palace's third goes in on that penalty, or fourth, whatever it was, they gave them the 2-goal lead. That's a dodgy penalty. Should never have been a penalty, and the fact that VAR didn't overrule that was ridiculous. A player goes down on his own. West Ham player doesn't touch him, and so, quite frankly, Moyes does have a bit of a VAR shot. But having said all of that, you give up three goals to Crystal Palace in the first 30 minutes, you really don't deserve to win. So West Ham's defense massively underachieving, but West Ham have shown that. They've shown that they can just collapse at any time this season. Yeah, but I'm tired of this. Mashiri, in his own admittance, doesn't make decisions at the club, but he does make decisions. Bill Kenwright has said he doesn't make decisions at the club, but we know he does. It's just a bunch of liars. That's all it is. It's a bunch of money-hungry, greedy liars. Plain and simple, end of. It's a business to them, and that's totally fine. They're business people making their wages, counting their money. We're just fans. We're having our say. We want the club to do well. They're all liars. You can't convince me otherwise. Yeah, we can go on and on about Chairman Bill. At this point, I just almost don't. It's like a waste of breath. And we're just all waiting for his next open letter, which I'm sure will somehow he finds a way. I never thought I could see anything worse than that stupid, not letter, but the page that he put in the accounts that came out. I didn't think it could get worse. And then he came out with the open letter in response to the All Together Now. I don't know if I've ever in my life read anything worse than I did in that fucking letter. Absolute shambolic joke. Just awful. Well, it would be nice if we got something from Newcastle in the very, very near future. Meanwhile, Leeds have a chance here in the box. Nothing doing from Somerville. 51 minutes on the clock. Where are you guys at on your time in the Leeds Bournemouth games and or Fulham Man City? I want to see if I'm ahead or behind. If you see a goal, please no spoilers. I'd appreciate that. If is my ticker updated, by the way? 1-0, 1-0, and 2-1, 2-1. Let's see. Thanks, everybody, for joining, by the way. Sorry, I haven't even thanked you guys yet, and we're already into the second half. I appreciate you guys sticking around with me. This is a whole lot more fun when I have people to interact with, and I appreciate all of you guys. Oh, not even close to updating the ticker, by the way. Still says Fulham 1-0, or sorry, 1-0 Man City. No, thanks as always. If you haven't liked and subscribed to us on Follow Everton, please do so. We certainly appreciate that. I got a whole bunch of subs yesterday, by the way, on my YouTube channel, which I very much appreciate. If you haven't seen that, check it out at Real Domino Chris. A lot of cool stuff coming up there as well. Throw me a sub. I'd greatly appreciate it. And then you can see more good stuff, just like the fun that we are having today. 50-38 Newcastle Southampton. Okay, you're way ahead of me in that game. Then that's fine. If there's a goal in Newcastle Southampton, feel free to say that. If there is a goal in Bournemouth-Leeds or Man City Fulham, though, please leave that to me. But if you see any goals in Newcastle Southampton or United Villa, please feel free to shout them out. Match preview is to be James. Hey, buddy. Thank you very much for those kind words. I very much appreciate that. Thank you. Will there be a match preview? Sorry. Yes, there will. We are currently figuring out just what time to do it. I think we were talking in the group about when to do it today. A couple of folks wanted to come on after the watch along and do that. I just don't know exactly when that will be. At this point, I don't think it even needs to be like we could probably tie it into tomorrow as a pregame and just put it. But I think there will be a match preview. I think a couple of the folks want to come in here and talk a little bit about what they've seen for the past few days, because the match preview will also probably have a bit of results covering the results from today and yesterday. So if I had to guess, there will be a match preview sometime later this evening, but we will keep you updated. Yeah, but we've seen this before. Southampton have been up 1 goal away before, and they've shown that they've blown it. Newcastle is going to score. Looks like Newcastle have a good shot. Like I said, I'm way behind, though. So you guys already know that Newcastle haven't scored on this free kick. I'm only 50 minutes in. Matter of fact, I'm just going to turn this off. Let me try to get this on the main screen. In all likelihood, it will slow down the other games, and so I will probably just turn this off. But let me try to get Newcastle Southampton on this main screen. I think I've already done that, actually. I think I've already screwed it up. Hang on. All right, let's get her going here. Modern technology, ladies and gentlemen. I do my best. That's all I can do. As a Brighton fan, I want these scores to remain exactly as they are. Absolutely. You know what? As a neutral, I find it nearly impossible to not be, despite what the results affect, I find it nearly impossible to not be a fan of Brighton because of just how, not only how well they're run, how just quality their football's been lately. It's just fun to watch as a neutral. I hope I don't watch any of this quality next week, but that's another story entirely. So next week there will be no neutrality. I hope they rest all of their players. I'm worried that can get ugly too. We saw how, here come Man City, almost a third. It's a great chance for Jack Grealish. I don't trust anything at this point, but Brighton will likely turn us over next week. Jeff okay and out of hospital. Neil, I didn't know Jeff was in hospital. I think Jeff's fine. All right, Newcastle coming up. Let's see what minute we will be on if we're on. Okay, I'm on 54. Oh, it's 1-1. Newcastle have scored. As I get the stream up on 54 minutes, Newcastle have a goal. I don't know who's gotten it. It looks like it might be. It looks like it might have been a cross from Isak. Is that Miguel Almiron or is that? Hang on. I told you Newcastle will score. Yeah, I think Jeff's. I think that's taking the piss. Who scored for Newcastle? Someone fill me in. It might have been. Hang on, I don't want to speculate. Let's just have it right. It is. Oh, that's not the right score at all. Callum Wilson, as predicted. Alexander Isak with the assist. Callum Wilson, all he does is score at the minute. Looks like there might be a check for something, or at least the officials are talking. Nope, it's going to be a good goal, and it's 1-1. Newcastle will win this game, by the way. Southampton are going to crumble, and we all know it. So everyone relax. Although at this point, I understand why people are tense. It's Callum Wilson in the 54th minute for Newcastle United. Wilson came on for Gordon. Did he really? That's hilarious. No surprise there. All right, let's take the piss out of Gordon a little bit. No. It is shocking, though, how much Everton fans get a kick out of that. But it's just true, though. The Pornhub shot after the Newcastle game. Oh, okay, fair enough. That's hilarious. Whoever said that. Yeah. I'm up to speed now. That was hilarious. Our match reaction, by the way, after the Newcastle game was some of the most fun we've had in terms of just ranting and bantering and laughing and all that sort of thing. Because if we don't laugh, we'll cry, and that's what we just had to do. Yeah, I think it might have been our most viewership. Oh, look who we have! Hang on a second. Back by popular demand. Hang on, wait for it. We might have a guest joining us here shortly. No, that was some of the most fun we had in terms of banter and actually coming together. We all had a good rant after the Newcastle game. We just needed it because we were all frustrated and fed up. Who do we have here? Hang on, can't hear you.
Wow, it's crazy. It's absolutely unbelievable here at Newcastle. Southampton, who everyone had written off before the game had started, well, they took the early lead. But Newcastle and the horrible Geordie bastards have managed to claw it back to 1-1. And it's that prick again, Callum Wilson, getting on the end of that Alexander Isak's cross. And it's 1-1 here at St. James's. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Chris Kamara. Fantastic stuff. You just never know who's going to pop in here at Follow Everton. And that's why we love it. Always unpredictable. That was fantastic. Absolute class. Hey, by the way, Jeff Stelling stepping down on Soccer Saturday. What I think that we should do, and I'm going to throw my hat in the ring here, start a petition to get me on Sky. I think it's about time I make my move and jump up to Soccer Saturday. I'll put together a demo reel of some of these watch-alongs. I'll put together some of my best calls, my best presentations, and let's get this thing going. It's about time I make the big times. What do you say, boys and girls? Let's do it. It's not every day an opening like this comes about. All the stars on here, Wezzo. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Yeah, our Newcastle post match was fantastic. We got just thousands upon thousands of views. For most of that stream, we had 600 to 700 people watching. It was pretty good. A little bit of banter, obviously, from the Newcastle fans in the chat. I don't have a problem with that. Don't get personal. Don't be a douche. Until then, I'm fine. I don't mind banter. I really don't. We had a couple yesterday. Let them talk. Let them have their say. They're proving how stupid they are. They just continue with the nonsense. And they sometimes with stupid people, you just let them prove it to themselves. Newcastle controlling most of this possession, by the way. You get we're in the 59th minute now, almost in the 60th minute, I should say. You get the feeling they will score another. Speaking of scoring another, Leeds absolutely should have just equalized. Willie Nianto with a glorious chance. Should be 2-2. Right on the 60-minute mark now at the Vitality as well. Oh, it's just a glorious chance. Maybe. I mean, Nianto's about my height, so he had a little bit of trouble getting that header on target, but still, he's got a fair amount of space, and he knows he should have done better with it, at least put it on target. 60 minutes in that game. We have a serious injury looking like in the Fulham Man City game. Both teams' players are kind of around, not taking a knee, but sort of in a respectful mode, knowing that something's going on. It's a Fulham player. I didn't see what happened. All I know is we seem to have something very unfortunate in this game right now. So stretchers are out. There will probably, here comes Newcastle, by the way. No chance. There will probably be a fair amount of added time because there's been no action for quite a few minutes at this point. You have to be able to state the odds. I'm not sure you're qualified enough. Hey, I could put on a hat. Everybody knows I'm a poker player. I could put it on. No chance. I don't. Oh, that's fair. I don't hate EFC, which is a prerequisite. You know what, Neil? You've never made a better point, my friend. Before that goal, Brighton still had a shot at fourth. I'm assuming you meant the Newcastle goal. I don't think that's. I think Brighton should. I can't say lock. They have so many games coming up, mates, and that's what people are. That's why to win 6-0 yesterday with arguably your 2 or 3 better players on the bench is just kind of an unbelievable feat. The fact that the Zerbi's able to manage these minutes and still have basically, I'd say, probably a full squad against United in a few days is nothing to be looked past. So, yeah, if they beat United, I think they're in really great shape. And I think they will. Actually, I take it back. That game's probably going to end in a draw. I would pick, I mean, it's a 2-result game. I don't see United going to get a win, but I would bet draw for that one. But for your sake, for Brighton's sake, I'll be on your team this week. Only this week, though, not next week. Yeah, what a concept. Bournemouth 2-1 up and making 2 changes. How about that? What a manager. It's simple stuff. Simple stuff. And I don't want to hear anymore that we don't have options. We have options now. We didn't for much of the season. For a fair amount, we would look over, we would see Tom Davis on the bench and know that was one of our only options. That's not the case anymore. That's what makes the last couple of games just awful. Makes it worse. Which American football team do I follow? Great question. It's 3-1, by the way. Sorry. I'll answer that in just a second. It's Bournemouth 3, Leeds United 1. Bournemouth have a third. I will get you up to speed on who got it as Newcastle almost take the lead as well. The goals are coming in. It looks like that is Solanke with another goal. It's 3-1 to the Cherries. Leeds United fans have to be very worried at this point. That's not me taking the piss. That's just me being very, very honest. It's very worrisome because Leeds have some tough fixtures coming up. So Leeds will probably be massive Leicester City fans tomorrow. It's just atrocious defending by Leeds. That is an abomination. When you see this, the defender literally just sticks a foot out. I don't know what he's thinking. It goes right to Solanke, who makes no mistake. Quite frankly, it's a great finish by Solanke. It just sneaks in off the post, and then VAR is reviewing it for a possible offside. It doesn't look it, but again, at this point, VAR just picks and chooses where they want to draw the lines. So nothing will convince me until it's on the board. But from this, nothing by the angle that they're showing me even looks close to offside. But hang on at least. Hang on, Harry. VAR is reviewing it. What do you see?
Well, it's terrific goal by Bournemouth, one of my old teams. Nico wasn't playing for them, and it wasn't Jermaine Defoe either, but it is a Bournemouth player who's put it in. Oh, no, it's going to VAR. Let's come back in a second and see what happens.
It looks like it's onside, and it's a good goal, Harry.
Oh, it's terrific. It's absolutely unbelievable. Oh, Crouchy, oh, Nico, oh, my beautiful team. Oh, yes, I did play for Pompey. I'm a traitor. I play West Ham and Spurs and Portsmouth and Bournemouth, but whatever. It's a great goal. Thank you, Bournemouth. Terrific.
Thank you, Harry. We'll get back to you here in just a bit. Class. I can't wait to clip these after the stream. The Blues take that wasp out of your mouth. Fantastic. Love it. Might be onto something here, having these guests on. Still 1-0 to United over Villa. 1-1 at St. James's Park. Newcastle controlling much of this. You have to think they'll get another. Southampton look to just be not lost, but might as well be. They're just retreating at this point and very much hoping not to concede. But Newcastle are bringing about as much of the attack as they can. Bournemouth 3, Leeds United 1, Man United 1, Aston Villa 0. It is Fulham with 1 goal, Manchester City with 2, and 1-1 at St. James's Park. We go now live to Evertonian Pete, also at the Vitality. Pete, are you in the stands or are you in the press box today?
I'm in the stands, mate. I'm in the stands at the Vitality Stadium, lads. And, you know, I'm absolutely buzzing to be a Bournemouth fan for today. We're absolutely brilliant. And you know what? Everton are staying up this season. The initiative's back with us now, mate. We're going to win the league. Not this season, but we'll probably win the league in the next 10 years because this team is going somewhere, this Everton team. You've seen they can hold Newcastle to a 4-1 loss, not like Southampton here today who hold them to a 1-1 draw. And Bournemouth as well. Brilliant side. I'm so happy. And Everton are definitely staying up now on the back of these results.
Now, Pete, did you have the bollocks to wear an Everton kit at Bournemouth, or did you bother purchasing a Bournemouth kit?
Yes, mate. I've got an Everton top underneath my Bournemouth top and also underneath my Newcastle top. I've got 7 tops on this weekend. It's a bit annoying, you know. I'm a bit hot and sweaty having to support 50 fucking teams at once. But, you know, being a Scouse is all about, you know, being friends and enjoying all the football. So absolutely amazing to, you know, support Newcastle after hating the midweek. I've got many tops on, yeah. It's a bit sweaty, but Sports Direct, they're not going to replenish till next week, to be honest.
No, and Sports Direct will definitely not give you a refund. Pete, anything more to add before we let you go?
Well, to be honest with you, Domino Chris, you're absolutely brilliant. I've got one earpiece in listening to you while I'm here with the Vitality. As you can hear, it's very loud in the stadium. There's a lot of atmosphere, a lot of noise. I'm really struggling to actually speak over the crowd in the background and yourself there at Goodison. But yeah, we're definitely going to win the league this season.
Pete, thanks very much. We move on to 03117 2233 03717 223344, the number to call here at Talk Sport. Follow Everton. We're getting plenty of callers in. It's just great. I'm curious who we get next. Almost a second, by the way, for Newcastle. It's still 1-1 for now. And Manchester City really bringing it as well. The results really starting to prove themselves. We've got some people in the chat saying you're definitely from the Whirl. Don't know. But we love our callers. Fantastic guests. Newcastle with another opportunity. It's just over the bar. It looks like it might have been pushed over. It's a save, but it was going wide. Callum Wilson almost with a second. We've got another caller in here. It's Mark Warburton's Blue Nose. You're on the air here on Talk Sport. What do you have to say?
Hello, Chris, lads. I'm a massive Blue.
Okay, go on.
I think we're down, lads.
Why is that?
Because we're shit.
Oh, well, we apologize to our younger listeners out there for that. Well, Mark, if you can control your language, though, what do you think about tomorrow? We still have games to play. We, as Martin Cowan says, our fans really need to get behind the team. So will you be behind the team tomorrow?
Your call cannot be connected.
Oh, we
Please
seem to
try
have
again later.
we seem to have lost Mark, and you hate to see that because it seems like he was really bringing the great takes. Just obviously a massive Evertonian with big opinions. So don't know. We'll see if we can get Simon Jordan on the line. That might be a little bit tough, but we'll see. We'll at least throw it out there. Simon, if you are listening, we'll have him come on as well. As Leeds have a chance here, but it is cleared from trouble by Bournemouth. The only game I don't have on is Man United and Aston Villa, which is still 1-0 to United at the minute. If anyone has anything in the comments to say, if they're watching that game, if Man United are controlling it or how that's going, please let me know. On to about 60. We're in the 70th minute in 2 of these games. We're a little bit behind, actually, at Craven Cottage with Fulham and Man City. in the 67th. Not to mention there will be a lot of added time in this one. Curious to see if this stays 2-1, by the way, although I do expect City to get a third. Curious to see if this stays 2-1, how many minutes Pep will give these Manchester City players, given that they do have a lot of games coming up, not to mention the Champions League as well. So, going to be interesting. Moving on. If I was on Follow Everton, I'd make future retired DCL as a recurring team. Oh, we have Ryan who's joining us now. Ryan, where are you coming in from?
Well, I'm actually coming in from South Liverpool, the Allerton area. Haven't been watching the games. I think I just can't stomach it. So I've been tuning into your wonderful coverage, Chris. And I'm ecstatic to see that Leeds are giving us another opportunity. But is this more false hope?
Yep.
We're all getting sucked back in again. I mean, if Leeds do lose this, that'll be Leeds and Nottingham Forest both losing in this weekend. So we have to take advantage, Chris. We've got to beat Leicester. We can go actually 16th with a win.
Yep. And I know we can't. Hang on. Let me change something. I've got a lot. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah. I can hear you.
I've got a lot of lag coming in for some reason. So let me actually change my camera resolution very quickly. Sorry if this is more poor. Okay. Can you hear me? No, I'm still lagging on this stream. Oh, weird.
You're not lagging.
No, I'm saying I am. I can see myself not coming in. Whatever. Audio's not, but my video is. Doesn't matter. Anyway, no, I just don't see it. This is usually the time where my confidence comes. It's the day before a match. Everton are going to turn these over and do these, as we see kind of a shoving match between Tete and Jack Grealish here. Or maybe it's just a war of words with Jack Grealish just throwing a couple hands out. Jack Grealish been getting a bit battered the last few weeks as he's come into form. But the City players, here's what we don't have. You've got 4 City players immediately coming around and getting this guy away, shoving him, doing whatever, not accepting the fact that we're getting bullied. Everton don't have that. That's what I want to see. I want to see that sort of fight from this team, and we just don't have it, right? And so I expect to go into Leicester tomorrow, and I just expect to concede early and then have the wheels fall off. I hope that doesn't happen. But God, do you see anything else? Can you see us scoring first?
Look, we could be going into that game tomorrow out of sight. At one point yesterday, I was watching I was working. While I was setting up, I had the Brentford versus Nottingham Forest game on my phone in sort of the corner of my eye. And with 10 minutes to go, I'd resigned myself to Nottingham Forest winning that game, us being 5 points behind them, us losing to Leicester on Monday. And effectively, Man City's coming to Goodison and Brighton away, confirming our relegation with 2 games to spare. Now, those 2 goals, which yesterday Brentford did, which were the luckiest goals you'll ever see. I mean, the free kick and the offside one. I mean, they were farcical goals. But it does show if you shoot, you score, and that's something not necessarily Everton did. But, I think we can go in with a little bit of renewed optimism Monday night. Because Leicester aren't that good. I think if we sit back, let Leicester come forward, then expose some of the gaps that they'll leave, because their defense isn't that good.
Right.
I think we can get the early goal, quieten the crowd. I would prefer the game on a Sunday at 12:30, but it's a night game. Hopefully that doesn't play into Leicester's hands. Leicester fans are fed up. They're annoyed as well. They're nervous. Let them make the mistakes.
We've got a second goal. It's Newcastle 2 and Southampton 1. It's Callum Wilson again.
You horrible, horrible Geordie twats. Get in.
Dreadful defense from Southampton, as expected. Callum Wilson only scores in 2s, as we all know too well. And that's going to, I don't see a way back for Southampton at this point. Still, we're in the 74th minute, so still plenty of time to play. Oh, this might be ruled back. That's offside. That's not going to count. VAR is not officially checking it yet, but from the naked eye, that looks to be offside. So hang on. Let's wait for the official word. I'd be shocked if this stood. Give it a second. Go on with what you were saying about Everton, by the way. Unless they find a way to say that this came off a Southampton defender, which, again, Newcastle are now a top 4 team, if you like, so we know how they get these VAR calls. I don't think that this one could stand. players walking back. It seems like they might know it, but it's a very, oh my God. Well, hang on. It's crazy how this VAR can find a way to show these angles to where it looks close, because the angle they showed before this, just on the replay, had it looking miles offside. And now this alleged VAR angle that they want to use has it looking close. It's just, it's crazy. So I want to see where they draw this line. Anything's possible. What'd you say?
Are they doing the toenail and the fingernail and all that?
Again, one angle looks clear, one doesn't. So it's just a matter.
I think it should be done by your feet. If I'm honest with you.
Anything that can score a goal, I don't think it should count in terms of hands and arms. It's up for debate. A lot of people, or some people, feel differently, I should say. But
yeah, but then they're measuring people's knees and they're never going to get it. It should be automated. It should be like in Wimbledon.
Right.
When they can see everything when the ball's in and out, all of the offsides.
It's taking a long time, I'll tell you that. And usually when it takes longer, that means that it's gonna stand, I would think. I don't know what I'm so tired of hearing the phrase clear and obvious. If it's taking this long, it's not clear and obvious.
There's no such thing as a clear and obvious when it's an offside. The offsides should be automated. It should all be computerized. Offsides and whether the ball's out and that sort of stuff should be automated.
It's been ruled offside, by the lines at least. But again, it's not. I would almost be reviewing if that came off a Southampton defender, if that's even up for review. But regardless of how you want to interpret it, it is 1-1 still at St. James Park. So we move on. No goal. We have just gone into the 77th minute there. I still think that it will Newcastle have every single bit of the possession in the second half. So I still think that this will end in a Newcastle win, but only time will tell. They still have to make it count.
Have we got the scores? Is it Bournemouth 3, Leeds 1?
Yeah, sorry. I've had the ticker most of the time. I was trying to.
And then what's the
1-0 Man United over Villa. It's 2-1. I'm sorry, 1-1 at St. James Park. 3-1 Bournemouth over Leeds, 2-1 City over Fulham, and 1-0 Man United over Villa. Most games in the 78th minute. City and Fulham are about 3 minutes behind. City still, to my knowledge, unless they made a sub that I missed, I think City still have their starters in because they only have a 1-goal lead. So City were meant to be managing minutes today. Kevin De Bruyne, by the way, not in the squad. Julian Alvarez got the start and a goal. And Holland got his obligatory goal as well. So
again, a player that apparently we looked at. We looked at the one at Watford as well, who's moving to Brighton for 30
Joao
million.
Pedro. That's the one that I wanted from the deadline last 6 months ago, and it just wasn't going to happen.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I've clicked that off. There's been so many players. There's old tickers. Sorry, mate. I think
You've ruined my stream.
I've ruined your stream.
Unbelievable. You know what? I'm just keeping this up. Keeping this up for the rest of the stream now.
Can we all smash the like button for Chris, who's done a great job on this stream and yesterday, giving up hours of his time to provide some good content for you and a platform to vent, and also keeping us updated with the team, because we're not going to sit with 3 windows open. A lot of you are doing multitasking and want this on in the background. So can we smash the like button now for Chris? Also subscribe to our channel and his channel there, Real Domino Chris. It's definitely worth going on there. Give him some love.
I must admit, I do need to be a bit more proactive with my stuff. I've been just had a lot to do lately. It's good to be. Oh, it's 2-1. This one's going to count. Newcastle have their second. It looks as though it's come from a corner. It looks like it might be.
It's embarrassing that I'm celebrating these.
I know, right? Now all of a sudden we're Newcastle's best mates, right? I'm not sure who scored. We've got some. Hang on, let's see this one again. Don't want to speculate. It looks like it might be a defender that's got the goal. That's a tall man, so I'm assuming it's Dan Burn or Sven Botman. Oh, and it might be an own. Oh, hang on, that might have come off a Southampton defender. Yeah, that's going to be an own goal. So it's come from a corner. It's a great header, but it looks like it's come off a Southampton defender. That will be an own goal. Nonetheless, it counts all the same, and it is 2-1 Newcastle. But
Chris,
that's off. Oh, our buddy. That's Theo Walcott that's giving up the goal. Oh no. It's a T-Dubs own goal. Go on, Ryan. What were you saying, mate?
I mean, Southampton and Nottingham Forest are doing things that relegated teams do, which is conceding at your near post twice and scoring own goals and that sort of thing. They're hallmarks of relegation teams. It's just that there happens to be 5 of them this season there's not much between them. I mean, it's unpalatable that Everton have only scored 25 goals this season. It's unheard of. You know, you'd expect at least 10 goals from one striker, even in a very average Premier League team. 10 goals from your number 9, and then you'd have a couple of strikers who chip in with 5 or 6 each off the bench over the course of the season.
It's a horrible giveaway. It's 3-1. Newcastle have their third, and that's Callum Wilson. He knew he was going to get his second. He only scores in 2s, and it's a horrible giveaway from Southampton right to Callum Wilson. Takes a touch around a defender and the keeper for that matter as well, and it is 3-1. No chance of that being ruled out, and that will be it for Southampton on the day.
Everybody used to do that.
Ryan, are you coming in as a guest?
My missus had YouTube on, and when I turned the TV on to try and put Sky Sports on in the background, it's some woman talking about, I'll tell you exactly what it is. I'll tell you what the video is. Turning a $20 grocery store cake into a trendy wedding cake. And she's watched 3 minutes and 35 seconds of that before turning that off.
I believe we refer to that as trash TV, right?
My missus loves all that. She'll sit watching like people restoring old axes and that sort of thing.
The girl
watches this, and this is trash TV.
Right.
She said she was watching you for about 40 minutes yesterday.
And she says, I'm trash TV? I'm comedy gold.
She never said it was trash. She said you're very good.
Oh, okay. That's what I like to hear. Yeah, my ex used to love watching doctors who would pop pimples on people. I really don't understand how people love that sort of thing, but whatever.
She watches like surgeons and stuff, and I'm like,
I don't get it.
I'm not well at the moment, and I need to have some bloods and some stuff, a camera down my throat because I'm not well, and I'm shitting it. And she's like, I'll have surgery tomorrow and have the thing and all this sort of stuff. Different people. I've got I don't want to watch Fulham, Man City. I'm not interested.
I mean, I'll have it on just because, well, quite from a selfish perspective, I've got 3 Man City players in fantasy football who are doing fantastically. But
how do are none of the games on in the UK apart from this Fulham Man City? Is that what it's come to?
Is that usually, well, when there's 4 games consecutive or 4 games simultaneously on a Sunday, how is it usually?
Well, that's annoying. That's annoying. I don't know whether we're on BT Sport, but why am I saying we are? We're not on anything.
Tomorrow the game should be on, though, yeah?
It is. I mean, I was offered the ticket, but I can't stomach it. And John from the channel's going.
No, I'm speaking of, it should be on TV somewhere tomorrow in the
UK,
right?
Yeah, on Sky Sports tomorrow.
Yeah, I will not be doing a watch along for Liverpool and Spurs. To those who are asking, I have no interest in either of those teams doing well or watching them. Newcastle almost with a 4th, absolutely battering Southampton now.
What's the goal difference situation? Southampton are relegated, aren't they?
Southampton are down, absolutely. And funnily enough, we need Southampton now. At this point, it's in our best interest if Southampton go to Forest and win next week.
Well, yeah, I assume we want that. So have we got a live table?
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to watch Man City Fulham.
I don't have one that I can put on screen, but I can tell you the live table. Leeds almost have 1 back, but it's just missed.
We need some
Leeds
goals.
Everton are minus 25 on goal difference. Leeds United are currently minus 23. Forest will be minus on goal difference for the rest of the season, no matter what. Southampton are now 6 points adrift of safety with 4 games to play, and they have no chance. Southampton are as good as down, so that doesn't matter. Leicester City are very comfortable on goal difference in relation to the other teams around them, so we will have to make up points on them. So basically tomorrow is, here's the thing. I said it a minute ago, and I'll say it again. It is not the end of the world if we get a draw tomorrow. I don't want to draw. I don't want to play for a draw. If the game's there for the taking, we absolutely have to go for the win. If something happens to where tomorrow ends in a draw, yes, it is just a shred of hope. But yes, we make up a point on Leeds and Forest, which means we're just 1 point behind all three of these teams now in joint 15th through 7th. Or I'm sorry, joint 16th through 18th. And there's still things to play for. It's not what I even want to talk about because I want to go for the win. All I'm saying is it's not sound the alarms and start burning things over if we get a draw tomorrow, although it would be not what I want. If we lose tomorrow, it's over. I'll say that.
I think we've got to beat Leicester because we're not going to beat Man City or Brighton. We need to win against Wolves, Leicester, and Bournemouth.
That's not all necessary. That assures it for sure, but that's not going to be. There will be less required for safety than that, given how if these results stand up the way they are.
Well, we'll get the table up at the end, and we'll have to really it, but.
We're in the 86th minute now. I'm assuming a couple of my streams are behind now just because there's so much bandwidth on my computer right now. But we're in the 86th minute in Newcastle. Matter of fact, Newcastle almost with a fourth there again. Newcastle just, again, peppering Southampton's goal with shots and looking like they're just laughing and having a jog about. So I actually might turn that game off in a second just so these other ones work a little bit well, even though I could turn off Fulham and Man City. I see a score update that United are still 1-0 up over Aston Villa. Nothing's changed there. And so we keep an eye on Bournemouth and Leeds. Bournemouth now with possession on 87 minutes on the clock.
Why are we still showing Bournemouth as 2-1?
Because I've been multitasking and haven't updated it, I guess.
I can't see that banner, otherwise I'd update it for some reason.
No, it's fine. I've updated the I updated the score. I updated the goal scorer, just not the actual score.
No, you're doing a great job. I'm not having a go. I know. See that for some reason. We've got loads of old banners I need to delete.
Stay Hard says we'll beat Brighton. I like your confidence, buddy. Point from next 3, win the last 2. Boy, the optimism in here is through the roof today.
How can we get anything at Brighton? I mean, I didn't see the game against Wolves. I know you did. I was working, but could we just low block them and stop them having any space?
Brighton made Wolves look like a League 2 team yesterday. So, and that was with Matoma, McAllister, Caicedo, and somebody else that I'm forgetting all on the bench for 60 minutes. So Brighton basically played their good players, but for the most part, not their best squad and just embarrassed Wolves. So, Brighton still have United before that, and they still have to manage minutes because they still have a lot of games to play. But if Brighton play even half of that, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It doesn't matter if other teams put half of their squad on the pitch, like Fulham, like Brighton. If another team turns up in any shape or form, they're going to beat Everton because Everton won't turn up, and then they'll concede, and then their heads will drop, and then that'll be the end of the game. Guys, a couple of years ago, Newcastle went down, came right back up. No reason you can't do the same. Yes, there is a reason, and it's because of our financial disastrous irregularities or restrictions or whatever you want to call it.
Everton Football Club with this new stadium. Certainly, if we get relegated, someone's going to buy it on the cheap. It could be. It's not a hidden gem, but it will be a bargain for someone who wants to.
Yeah, and that's kind of our only hope. If Mashiri is going to go all in terms of keeping the club until this new stadium's built, then we might get relegated again. Wolves hopefully will be on the beach. They were on the beach yesterday. Maybe.
I'm not saying we're Man City, but I just don't understand how Everton can be that bad at keeping possession. I mean, Doucouré's second touch was a tackle against Newcastle. And you just wonder, you're professional footballers. I honestly think I can do all these passes. Why are we so bad at passing the ball? Do we know what our pass completion rate is as a Premier League team?
I'd be terrified to look that up. Newcastle with numbers here coming forward. It will be a corner. Great chance.
Oh, and it's out wide. Jack Grealish on the ball, plays it inside back to Bernardo Silva and infield to Rodri. Kyle Walker dropping into sort of a CDM role, plays the ball in behind to Phil Foden, keeps it in play. Anthony Robinson, former Everton defender, manages to clear it and plays a little interchange down the left with Manor Solomon, the Israeli international, goes past Phil Foden. A bit of trickery before falling over, and Fulham have managed to keep the ball and play long.
6 minutes of added time. 6 minutes in Bournemouth and Leeds. We're into the 91st minute, into added time. As we move along to the end game, if you will, in some of these games. Curious to see, by the way, there was, I said it before, there was a long injury, a very long injury in the Fulham Man City game. So I expect a lot of added time. What's your time code on Fulham Man City?
86.
Bournemouth have a fourth. It's 4-1 to Bournemouth.
Yes!
Done and dusted. That one's over. Pass completion rate 77%, says Jeff. Semenyo with the goal. Atrocious defending by Leeds, but to be fair, they get a bit of a pass on this one, given that they did have to go for a goal. So that left them open.
Thing. You can't sit and tell me that there wasn't players for available in January. Bournemouth. And who was the one yesterday who got injured for Nottingham Forest? Who they got in January? Danilo.
Danilo, yeah.
He looks quite good.
I think he scored yesterday, and I think he scored at least one the week before, and possibly two. I think it was just one though, because I think Gibbs White had two. Another player that we should have gotten, Gibbs White. We've been linked with so many of these players that are just making differences for other clubs, and it's just infuriating. But Bournemouth, obviously, a comfortable lead now. It's 4-1, and that will do for Leeds. Be curious, actually, if I know Rob's probably not watching now because he's watching the game. We had another Leeds fan come in and speak sense as well yesterday. So be curious to get their takes at some point, because, I mean, it's about as worrisome for Leeds as possible. Leeds aren't just losing games. Leeds are losing games in a very comfortable fashion. 3 out of their last, 3 out of their last 4, with the exception of the Leicester game.
Who have Leeds got then?
Let's have a look. I do know the games are tough. I don't know all of who they are, because Leicester was their quote-unquote winnable game.
The
Leeds,
problem
by the way,
is got points on the board already.
Leeds go to the Etihad next week, then they host Newcastle, then they go to West Ham, then they host Spurs. So, quite frankly, Leeds have as bad, if not worse, of a run than Everton for the rest
I think
of the
Leeds
season.
could go down. If we beat Leicester on Monday, I think, and we go above them, I think we'll just edge above Leeds. Anyway,
it's a big ask, mate. I don't see what.
Where are they getting points? Let's be realistic. Let's actually be realistic here. Leeds, if we're being very cynical and blunt, Everton aren't getting anything at Brighton or Man City, okay? And we'll probably get a point at Wolves and beat Bournemouth, I think, on the final day. I think we'll have enough. And
What
I think
gives
we'll
you
get a
any
draw against Leicester. I think we'll get 5 points. Now, what are Leeds going to get now? Leeds,
I'd be shocked if Leeds got 1, to be fair. And I think it might be I mean,
are they that bad?
Yes. Leeds just got battered by a combined score of 11 goals to 2 in 2 straight home games before they drew Leicester in a 3rd consecutive home game, and then this game today. If I have my scheduling right, and today they're just getting, they had a couple of chances, but for the most part, Bournemouth were just very clearly the better side with more of the chances. But Leeds today, Leeds lose 5-1 at home to Palace. I forgot one in there, which was also a loss. Leeds lose 5-1 at home to Palace, 6-1 at home to Liverpool. They go to Fulham and lose 2-1. They draw Leicester 1-1 in a game that should have gone Leicester's way, quite frankly. Leicester missed to be fair, Leeds missed a sitter of a chance at the end too, but Leicester missed at least 2 good chances in the second half. And now they're at Bournemouth down 4-1, and it could be worse.
Because they've sold the best players and replaced them with Dross, basically.
Oh, it's off the bar. Almost a 4th for Newcastle. Still in play. It's off the bar twice. Wow. You rarely see that. It's hit the bar, gone straight up, come down, and hit the back of the bar. Still 3-1.
There's 8 minutes of added time here at Craven Cottage as Man City are holding out for a 2.
What's your time code?
90 minutes and 27 seconds.
Okay, I'll let you have it then. I'm a bit ahead of you, but I'll let you have the call on this one. It's
just come up flashed at the Bournemouth goal. Seaman Yo for Bournemouth.
Yo.
There's a funny player who plays for Brighton who was saying Cook and Yarn or something.
Oh, it's not Estupiñán, huh? Caicedo.
A stupid yarn.
Estupiñán. We have one of those. Just kidding, buddy. Just kidding, Jan. Bournemouth threatening for a 5th, by the way. Leeds just look like they've had enough of football today and for this season. I don't know. Again, I don't know where Leeds are going to find points. Not only is it possible, it's very, very likely that next week Leeds are going to lose that game 5 or 6-0 at the Etihad. I don't see much of another. I mean, Man City, not exactly flying today, but we all know for the most part how they do at home, especially in recent weeks. And Leeds are just an awful defensive team.
I'll stick 20 quid on Leeds to beat Man City and just cover my bum.
I'll stick 20. I'll stick 20 quid on 5-0 and 6-0 and 4-0. And one of those will hit.
If I lose the 20, I'll be happy.
Oh, I know. I get where you were going. I'm trying to win money to fly overseas and watch us play, Cardiff next season.
You effing idiot! Don't. Although I do feel like I feel like in your heart you want to move to Liverpool.
I've looked at places there as a kind of a second spot if I were to get a remote job and if this content thing were to take off. Absolutely. There's a lot of pros and cons to America. Lately, the cons have unfortunately outweighed the pros for me personally, but that's another story for another day. We're through 6 minutes of added time in Bournemouth. Leeds do have a corner that they're not even going to be allowed to take. That game's over full time. 4-1 Bournemouth over Leeds. And we are we're 10 seconds away from being through the full 6 minutes at St. James's Park. Newcastle 3, Southampton 1. Southampton scored first in this game, by the way. Not fairly early. I guess it was a little bit later on in the first half, but I don't want to say I was worried, but still, Newcastle were taking their time and getting going. This game's over. It's 3-1 full time. Newcastle over Southampton. And let's now see if I can get an updated league table. What's it looking like at Fulham?
Peter's saying, do the cons include Donald Trump? Well,
yeah,
all the fans I met when I was in America in January was saying they didn't that Joe Biden was just as bad.
Full time, I don't get political on this channel. Full time, 1-0 Man United over Aston Villa. That's absolutely brilliant for my fantasy team, as I've put
don't get political on this channel.
2 Man United defenders into the squad today. Great points, and I might be back top the table in fantasy, which is obviously all that matters as of now. Where are we at Craven Cottage?
Well, it's fizzling out here, really. Man City keeping a lot of the ball. They are probing, looking for the third, I suppose, but they're not committing a lot of numbers forward in the attack. Jack Grealish has got it in the corner now, holding off Tete. He's been brought to the floor, and they're having a bit of a joke. He's kicking off with the referee like a big spoiled, a big girl's blouse. That'll fizzle out, I expect, 2-1. There's 81 people watching. Please hit the like button for Chris. He's done brilliant on the stream. I'm literally just sat in my living room joining in. And I think we're going to do a match preview soon. But I would like different people to do that. I want to spare Chris. I'd like maybe
Spare me.
Get
out of here.
To come and do that if he can.
Ryan's had enough of me, is what he's saying. He wanted more of a political pundit. Unbelievable.
I'm actually not. This throat thing's doing me head in, so I don't want to be speaking for an hour.
If no one else will do it, I'm here, but it's totally up to you. I don't mind getting different faces on here as well, but that's totally up to you.
Oh, you can do it. It's just you've done a lot of content.
But the people love me. Come on. We do need to figure out when we're doing it, though, so that's something to think about.
Well, you could do it straight after these games while you're on, but it's up to Jeff or whoever's about. I do need to rest my voice, as you know. I've got a problem at the moment.
Well, then go away. And I mean that heartfelt. Like, why
I'm
are you
just
speaking?
the Man City game.
Okay. Amy's out getting wasted, so she's unavailable. I'm pretty sure for a match preview.
Chris, Jeff said he'll do it with you if you want.
Okay, that sounds good. We can do that whenever. We will do that as a separate. But look at my man Wezzo. Get in there, mates. National treasure, international treasure. By the way,
I love
audiences are all over the world.
Wezzo makes me laugh. He's off subs bench because he's been subscribed to this.
He's absolutely our super sub. Let's have it right.
He's off subs bench. He's been a subscriber since like day one, quite literally.
Yeah.
Originally, it was just me talking to myself with Neil Michaels and Dave Weston in the comments for like.
I love this one, by the way. I love that someone else realizes that we associate Amy with 5 at the back. I love it. Although I personally don't think that that's the way I would go right now. But if 5 at the back means just any sort of different look from Everton, I'm almost down with trying whatever.
Man City are doing the dark arts, just trying to fall on the floor as much as possible. This is what we need to do against Leicester. We need to just piss them off.
But
I don't think we've got anyone capable of using their brain and understanding.
That's it, though. That's it. There's no ideas. There's no creativity. There's no thought. There is no in-game. What's the word I'm looking for? Awareness. There's no awareness. There's no awareness with the ball. There's no positioning off the ball from a defensive perspective.
I'm disappointed in someone like Alex Iwobi.
Why? What did you expect?
I don't know. There's no one creating anything. So it's almost like you want to just do 4-4-2 Sims and DCL and just lump it into the box.
That's what I said. I've said this for the entirety of really this stream. I just want to see it. I wanted to see Sims and Gray when we had a chance to do that. I'm not saying it would have worked. I'm just saying we have to try something. At least then, when our attack was non-existent, a 4-5-1 with Gray at the top brought a little bit of something, right? And so if you didn't want to mess with that, I can at least get behind that.
You know what?
Nothing is working right now. Sorry, go ahead.
No, but the Damari Gray one is a funny one because this Man City game's finished, hasn't it?
Okay.
The Gray one was a funny one because when he was up front, he had nowhere to hide. He was the focal point. When Man City have won, when Damari Gray's played on the wing, he always wants to come short with his back to goal, do a little fancy flair dribble, but do nothing with it. Don't beat anyone. Don't get a good ball in. Don't get a shot off. Don't run in behind. So he's not. He flatters to deceive. And then you've got Alex Iwobi who can't cross the ball, can't shoot. He's not coming in off the flank to create anything.
I want to see James Garner. I don't know of a way to get him on.
Could we do a 4-4-2 diamond? But then you need a couple of fullbacks that can get forward.
So let's pretend the 4-4-2 diamond happens, right? You put Sims and Gray up top. Right? I'm assuming. Is that who you want up top?
But there's no one.
By the way, this is all moot because Sean Dyche under no circumstances is going to start Ellis Sims. But let's just pretend that it's the way that we want to see it, right? 4-4-2 diamond with Ellis Sims and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up top. That means, in all likelihood, you're going to have McNeil on the left without question. Who are you going to put if you run a diamond? If you have James Garner in there, who are you dropping? Decore? You're not dropping Idrissa Gana Gueye. And at this point, with a fit Onana, you have to have Onana in the squad, right?
Thing is, Dwight McNeil's done nothing wrong, and I want Dwight McNeil to be one of the first names on the team sheet.
I agree with that, though. But I'm saying if Iwobi gets dropped, which is what we're saying, who else is going to get dropped? Because with a 4-4-2, if Sims is playing, you have to drop one of the Holy Trinity. And we saw what we're like without Decore.
I put Dwight McNeil at left back.
Really? Okay.
Put Dwight McNeil at left back. Put Garner, CDM, Onana and Decore. And Garner is a midfield. Garner on the right. Decore at the tip. Onana at the left. It's a very narrow 4-4-2. And then you get your width from fullback, which on the left will be McNeil and on the right will be Patterson.
See, if this were
coached and defend as a team, it doesn't matter who plays there.
If this were to have been tried 3-4 weeks ago, I'd say it would have a shot. There's no way you can change something to that level and expect these players to know where to be position-wise. I have a feeling now that would be a disaster.
No, but you're right. James Garner's done enough for me on the ball, and he's showing me a little bit of a spark that I quite like.
He has a brain. When James Garner gets the ball, he's looking what to do with it next. He's
Here's
not.
the table here, actually. Sorry.
Okay.
Everton 28 points, Leicester 29 points, Forest 30 points. Forest's goal difference is in the mud. Southampton's in the mud, and they've played a game more. Yeah, if we win this, we go.
Here you go. Just to have for everyone. I have it now, so just so everyone has a picture. Go on. Yeah, you continue the thought. You're good.
If we win our game against Leicester, which we are capable of doing, they are crap. We have to. We have to stand up and be counted. If we beat them, we go 16th with a better goal difference than Leeds, or at least level. And I think then we probably lose the next 2 games, but at least it'll give us a fighting chance, because I can't see Leicester, Forest, Leeds, and Southampton winning many games. I think if we go into Wolves and Bournemouth on the last 2 weekends, maybe a point adrift, I'd probably snap your hand off. I'd probably snap your hand off to be in this position now with those 2 games left. 19th, but with a game in hand and a couple of points. I probably would, because of our fixtures.
I would never snap anyone's hand off for us.
No,
to be
I
in
might
19th.
not snap your hand off. I did actually offer everyone at the start of the season, including Jeff and Delusional Dan. I offered everyone 17th at the start.
Delusional Dan.
I offered everyone at the start at 17th, and everyone said no. Dan wanted top 6. He thought we were going to finish in the top 6. Jan was quite influenced, and I think he thought top 10 was realistic.
I think I
offered 17th. I thought 17th was realistic, but no one accepted my offer.
I might have had us in the top. Hang on, I want to find this because I do have my table that I made before the season. Go on, have a thought while I find this.
Just saying it. Leave a note in the comments if you want to see the match preview coming up.
I had Everton in 12th. I won't say who I had winning the lead because I might be kicked off the channel, but it was just a prediction. I had going down Fulham, Bournemouth, and Southampton. I had Southampton dead bottom, nailed that. Had Leeds in 17th, Forest in 16th, so I had that about right. Brentford in 15th, not my best. Brighton in 13th, not my best pick. Everything else is kind of around. West Ham in 9th, Leicester in 8th. Ugh. Yeah, it's a little bit rough there. Now, Chelsea in 4th. That one's not exactly panning out either. Manager of the season, I had Arteta, though. That one might play out. Despite Arsenal finishing 2nd in the league, I think Arteta still might win Manager of the Year. We'll see. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
I mean, I'm hoping that someone sent a rocket up their backside and the other teams losing this weekend has really thrown the initiative.
Who, though? I want you to be right. I just want to know who is going to be that spark, who is coming to talk to the players, which player is going to step up and be a leader, which one is actually, because apparently Sean Dyche isn't having these conversations with the players, as he said in the press conference last week or a couple of days ago, whatever. He said it's basically the players just talking to each other at this point. Is it Seamus Coleman, the one that's rallying the troops? Is it Connor Cody?
Which shocking, isn't it?
It's awful. I am getting so tired of hearing Sean Dyche. He's just he should
be going in that dressing room and saying, look, the other teams have lost. We've got 5 games left. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go and beat Leicester. We're going to go and low block, outfight, and take the piss out of Man City. We're going to disrupt that game, make it a non-event. We'll do the same at Brighton, and we'll go into Wolves and try and inspire the players and say, look, you're an international footballer. You're captain of Ireland. You're playing for Belgium. You are good. Try and lift them. Try and inspire them. I think we should have enough. We should have enough. Now there's Calvert-Lewin back. We can't keep making excuses. Yes, we've got a few that are absolutely garbage, but so have those other teams. You can't tell me that Nottingham Forest, Leeds, and some of the others haven't got championship players. They have got championship players. That's why they're losing. They have a mix of championship players and Premier League players. That's why they're in this mess. That's why we're in this mess. We've got a mix of championship players and Premier League players.
By the way, I think that given the I won't say that because I was going to say given the results, I think West Ham might actually be safe on 34, but I won't say that because next week Southampton go to the City Ground and play Notts Forest. And if a bad result happens tomorrow and Forest beats Southampton, it might not matter. Then it's very clearly not in our hands, and then that might be it. So tomorrow is a must not lose. 98% of people will classify it as a must win. I respect that sentiment. If we pull out 1 point tomorrow, there is still things to play for, and we're still in the mix. All hope is not lost just yet. But
the cup final, that actually doesn't mean an awful lot because you've still got 4 games. But the problem is you have the issue there of if you go and attack and lose, you're handing the initiative to Leicester, and then you're saying, well, the Leeds, Forest, and Bournemouth Leeds, Forest, and Southampton going to go anyway, so it doesn't matter that Leicester win. But you don't want to hand points. I see what you're saying, so you take a draw. I mean, I personally think that we've got more chance of beating Leicester away than getting a point against either Brighton or Man City. So
yeah, but do you think we have more chance of beating Leicester away than Wolves away?
I think Wolves have got nothing to play for.
Wolves are safe on 37 points, 100%.
Wolves have got nothing to play for, so if we turn up and want it more, a lot of these Premier League games are who wants it more, who plays with their head and who plays with their bottom. And Everton don't often play smart and often don't want it more than the opposition. And then a lot of these games as well, Chris, it's just waiting for the other team to make a mistake, and then you punish that mistake.
Right. But that's what teams are doing against us. Right?
Yes, because we make the mistake. I can't stand any of the players at the moment. I really hate them all.
You said a couple of weeks. I mean, actually, it was just last week. I think you said we've become such an unlikable team, and it's so true. Everton are a team that, listen, we're not backing the players. Our entire fan base is backing the players for the most part. They're just so unlikable. It's not like we have players that it's like, okay, you know, they're actually. I can see Dwight McNeil has desire. I can see he's a workhorse. I think there are a couple of players who like Everton football. They want to do well. They just don't have the quality. But for the most part, it's just kind of they're just there. You're right. I don't love our players. It's just sad. Hi, Charlie.
Yeah, this is about the only thing that cheers me up. It is just sad. I mean, I'm 29, but when I was growing up, you still had players you could idolise. I mean, we weren't amazing, but we had Andy Johnson, and we had Arteta's, your Cahill's, Fellaini's, Pinar's. There was something to get behind. There was a likability factor about the vast majority of them. I mean, I used to say the only player I didn't like was Tony Hibbert because he was pretty one-dimensional. But now I really do feel sorry for the kids. I mean, I was at the trampoline park in in Hunts Cross in Liverpool. It's called Jump Inc. It's actually quite good. I took my missus and we went on the trampolining on it. And there was some kids playing in the five-a-side. There was a robot goalkeeper there, actually, which was quite fun. And it does save. It's brilliant. But
nice.
We need it. But there's a little five-a-side bit and loads of kids running around. And loads of them have got Liverpool tops on. And then there's 1 or 2 with Everton kits on. And you're like, well, what name have you got on the back of your shirt? Because if I was like a 9-year-old growing up now, I'd be like, well, who would I have on my shirt?
It would be Onana, right? As a kid, I think it would be Onana.
I think the one that had a name on the shirt had Dwight McNeil, and then all the other kids who didn't have Everton kit or Liverpool kit on, had like a Barcelona, Inter Milan. There was a load of them who were generic tops, and they're probably Blues. They're probably Blues who don't want it because there's nothing exciting, nothing cool about us.
Well, you don't even have to look back far. I mean, you mentioned the players from yesteryear. I mean, even last year and the year before. Obviously, Richarlison you could get behind. A player like Leighton Baines a few years ago, kind of on his last legs, but still scoring, just cracking goals against Leicester.
You missed it. Have you seen this?
What's he doing? Yeah, I've had enough too.
No, look.
What?
Wait.
What? It's a cat. What am I looking for?
No, it was basically tapping me.
Oh.
So, come on.
Shut up.
Right. So do you want me to just drop out and make the stream for the match preview and the graphic, and then in 10 minutes you can go on?
I'd say give it a little bit. What's it? It's about 4:15 over there. Give it a little bit of a break, and then I'd say maybe like even 5 or 6, or ask what. Like, it doesn't have to be immediately. It's up to you though.
It was just whether you wanted to get on, and the 79 people probably want to watch it who are watching live now. She's going to say it on, but
yeah, we could do it. Okay, let's have just a tiny bit of a break. And I'll just go grab
8 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. Do it at the half hour. We can do that. I don't want to. Well, the only thing is, like, I guess when is that other game? Is the other game starting at the half hour? I just don't want to be dealing with that while the game's going on.
Are we really that bothered for Liverpool Spurs?
No, but that's the point. I'm not going to watch along. I just don't even want to deal with talk of it in the comp. We will. Who cares? That'll
do half an hour match preview for that, and people will watch it back in their own time. I mean, if we can get the 80 people who are watching this stream right now to join us on the match preview, that's what we want. Could you come back in 15 minutes?
Yeah, that's perfect. If you've liked us on YouTube, well, if you haven't liked us on YouTube, like and subscribe, of course, and please smash that notifications bell so you can get that notification when we go live, which a lot of you already have done, and we very much appreciate that. So let's do that. We'll probably have me and Jeff and anyone else who wants to come in. Fingers crossed we get a very drunk Amy to phone in, because that would just be comedy gold. But no promises there. I'll let Ryan wrap this one up, and then we'll see you back in about 15. Go on, Ryan. What are your thoughts, since you won't be on the match preview?
Right, guys. Can we all just put a metaphorical and virtual round of applause for Chris, who's brilliant,
blatantly unnecessary,
and subscribe, Real Domino Chris, because we can't give him anything. We don't pay well on this channel, and we haven't monetized it. So this is all you can do. Just help this guy out, because if he can grow his own channel and make a few quid, that would mean a lot to him, and I think we should definitely support him. But join us back on Follow Everton for the match preview. We have Chris and we have Jeff in around 15-20 minutes time, and we'll talk about the Leicester game in a lot of detail. We'll go over Sean Dyche's press conference, look at injury news. Make notes here. I'm telling you what to do. Injury news for both sides. The last 5-6 games for both times. The head-to-head record, just for fun, and tactically, and how we'll approach this game. And I'll leave you in the capable hands.
And spoiler alert, you're going to get a grumpy Jeff, which we all love. So there is that. Go on, Ryan. Cheers, everyone. I think that's Ryan's way of saying goodbye. All right, guys. We'll see you in about 15. Up.
Well done, Chris.
Toffees.